बहुत स्पेशल है, बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है, as we have someone very special who has joined us from the United States of America, from our home office, and he's a great guy, and he's like a wizard, he's like a known guy, known person in the world of USANA, जिन्होंने बहुत सारे चीज़ों को सेटअप किया है USANA के लिए, especially in the field of education. And as you know, education is the most important thing in our business. So be ready. I would highly recommend that आप अपनी कॉपी और अपनी पेंसिल और अपनी नोटबुक लेके आइए और साथ में make a lot of notes, as today's session is going to be very exciting and very important. But before we go and speak about him and talk to him, I just want to give you some updates about USANA India. कुछ मैं आपको update देना चाहता हूँ. और first of all, I just want to say that हम लोग हमारे launch के near हैं, ज़्यादा दिन दूर नहीं है. Of course, we had some challenges related to the payments, and I think that's more or less getting resolved, and we are hopeful that in short few weeks, or maybe just few weeks from now, 1 or 2 weeks, we will be able to kind of give you the date of the USANA India's launch. So we are very excited about it, and I know that a lot of us are here who have joined us, and they all are super excited about the launch of USANA in India. So quick update for you. Maybe I can start by simply saying the team is in place. The team is getting up. Team is getting trained. We already have nearing 1.5 months of training being done from the customer care team. आप बिलीव नहीं करेंगे, तकरीबन 1.5 महीने से हम लोग हमारे कस्टमर सर्विस की टीम को ट्रेन कर रहे हैं, so that we are able to solve your queries, we're able to solve the questions what you have. So that piece is going on. The operations team is gearing up to do the supply chain and to send the products to you. So हमारे जो products हैं, they're already kind of almost manufactured. तो जितने भी हमारी local manufacturing है, वो more or less, I think it's almost on a verge of completion when it comes to manufacturing. यहाँ से we need 2 to 3 weeks to send the products to our warehouse. We've already acquired a warehouse, cool room, warehouse की cleanliness, and everything is spick and span. Right now the IT testing is going on ताकि invoices जो हैं वो time पे निकल सकें. We are hopeful that another 2 weeks we'll have our products even shipped to the warehouse, so that we try and start to test the invoice की order आ रहा है तो invoice ठीक निकल रही है, उसमें GST ठीक आ रहा है, and things are kind of taking place in the right way. So we are moving up in the right direction. We've already joined hands with one of the India's largest and the best, I should say, the courier company, and that's going to deliver in the 19 states we are servicing. Just to add, we've also added Kerala state in the total structure, in the total launch system. So that's already being done. So this is where we are on the team, at this moment of time. So operations have covered, manufacturing have already covered, team is already ready, offices right now, the fit outs are about to start, hopefully, I think next week, and then by the time we launch, I think we will be ready. So we are hopeful that mid-October end, this is the targeted date as of now for the launch of USANA in India. But for sure, we will come back to you. We are also trying to set up a good calendar of events for you. What are we launching? कब कहाँ पे क्या training होगी? Compensation plan की training कब होगी? Product की trainings कब होंगी? There's a full schedule we are working on right now, and we are hopeful that we'll be able to launch that soon to you. Also, which locations we all will be going, हम कहाँ पे हमारे incentive trips में हम आपको लेके जाएंगे. I think we are confident that in short few weeks we are able to launch that. So we are very excited as a team. We are gearing up. We are very happy, and I know that you all are smiling there. I can't see you right now, but I know that everybody is gearing up, and there's so many messages, so many calls. A lot of action is happening in India. Man, we are happy and very thankful that the way you guys, the way this India team, the way around the world people are promoting USANA. Wow, I would have not thought 9 months back when I joined USANA, and I'm very happy. And you can see my excitement right now, my passion. Yes, we are gearing up. We are behind you. We are with you, and we're gonna have a great launch along with you, and we will be rocking. So, couple of more things right now I would just want to talk about. Today we have something very special which I want to share. That's India's loyalty program. Many of you have heard that India will have a AO or auto order program कि आपने आज अपना एक सपोज मुझे एक प्रपोजल लेना है तो मैंने उसको ऑटो ऑर्डर पे लगा दिया और हर महीने या हर हफ्ते में मेरे पास उस ऑटो ऑर्डर को जो है वो प्रोडक्ट जो है, आई रिपीट, वो प्रोडक्ट जो है वो मेरे ऑटो ऑर्डर के थ्रू मेरे पास आ जाएगा और उस पर मुझे 10% डिस्काउंट मिलेगा. दिस वाज द प्रोग्राम, इनिशियल प्रोग्राम. बट अगेन, यू नो, वी हैड some circumstances, and also this is what we wanted, what I'm kind of presenting to you. So for India, the auto order program will not be there for sure. Okay, because of whatever thing, because of some challenges we had with the programming or some payment gateway. But I think the blessing came in the form of a loyalty program. So USANA always believes कि हम आपको कुछ ऐसी चीज दें जो कि यहाँ पे भी चलती है और यहाँ पे लोगों को समझ भी आती है. And I think it's going to be benefiting our country in a more stronger, in a more different way. So here comes the loyalty program for India. The loyalty program will be launched while as soon as we start the India, say, you know, operations. So what is this loyalty program? मैंने आज ऑर्डर डाला और ऑर्डर डालते ही मेरे पास एक वाउचर क्रिएट हो गया और मेरे अकाउंट में अगर मैंने 5,000 का ऑर्डर डाला तो मुझे 10% का बेनिफिट सीधा मेरे अकाउंट में मुझे मिल गया. मतलब 500 रुपए, 500 rupees is being added as a part of voucher in my account. Now, I don't need to wait for 1 month, or I don't need to wait for 1 week or 2 weeks. Next day morning, if I want to place my another order, I have 500 rupees available with me and I can put another order. Right. So now I get another 500 rupees and I have another order the third day. And I have that 500 rupees. पहले वाले तो 500 रुपए मैंने यूज कर लिए, दूसरे वाले जो 500 रुपए जनरेट हुए, I can use the third day. It's not that कि मुझको एक महीना वेट करना है या एक वीक में वेट करना है. I can put my order. Next day morning, I can put another order. Third day morning, I can put another order. So the more loyal you are, like, you know, we reward your loyalty. And this is now based on the order versus based on the product. So the AO is technically जो है वो product पे based है, but ये आपके order पे based है. So it is very simple program. Like anytime you put an order, you have 10% amount coming to you. उसका आपने अगला order डाला तो 10% you can adjust that value in the next order and in the next order and in the next order and in the next order, and you can keep going on with your order. Let's say मैंने अगली बारी उस product में 5,000 रुपए का ऑर्डर डाला, इससे मैंने 10,000 का ऑर्डर डाला, पुट इन एन ऑर्डर फॉर 10,000 rupees, example, and I get about 1,000 rupees as a 10% for my voucher. Now I have 1,000 rupees in my kitty, but I don't want to use 1,000 rupees. I only want to use 500 rupees in my next order. Perfect. So you use 500 rupees. अभी आपके 500 रुपए बच गए, that you use in the next order. Now Puneet Madan comes and say, I don't want to use my 1,000 rupees out of that 10,000. I want to wait. You know, I want to retain that 1,000 rupees because I will put another order of 15,000 rupees and I get now 1,500 more. So my order value has now become 1,000 plus 1,500 is equal to 2,500. And I get one next order, I get one, you know, product as a part of, you know, my voucher program or loyalty program. So this is different than the world, but this is what is coming for India. So I'm very excited about it because I know deep inside my heart that this works very well. Having worked in so many companies in the direct sales environment in Asia, in India, I think this is a great thing. What USANA has kind of global has given to us, and we are very thankful. So super, this works well. And that's about the loyalty program. As we go forward in the next call, we'll kind of explain to you through some examples. This got just approved this afternoon. That's why we're just kind of not sharing the examples with you, but the examples are coming in the next one. So that's on the loyalty program. Next, आगे चलते हैं. Next slide, please. Yes, start something with USANA India. Practically, you all know that, you know, we have something coming up, something epic coming up, something special coming up as a part of our launch strategy for India. So we would like to invite all the people who are here for a kickoff event to get the USANA India's beautiful experience in Chandigarh, in Hyatt. That's a beautiful property right in the heart of a beautiful city called Chandigarh. Most of you are familiar. It's a very beautiful city, very clean and very lovely city, and very beautiful hotel there. And we would like to welcome you, you know, to be a part of our first kickoff meeting. And that's there from 5 p.m. onwards on Friday, the 8th September. 8 September को 5 बजे kickoff meeting है, you know, kickoff pre-launch meeting है. We're going to be doing a lot of work. We will be unveiling our products जो हमारे products हैं, अभी आप हमारे social media पे products को नहीं देख रहे हैं, I think that's something very exciting. We'll be kind of taking the curtains off. You can experience the product. We'll also be giving you the experience of our shake, which you can try, the Nutri Meal. You can try that. It's going to be really amazing. It's come out nice, vanilla and chocolate, amazing taste, and that you're going to experience it. We'll also have some gifts for you in the form of some products which you would like you to go back, take back home, try that. And there'll be a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. I mean, we're going to give you a vision. You will be the first one to share, to learn the vision of India. You're going to be learning the USANA's words, who we are, what we do. So I think it's going to be a great event, we feel, and we're putting a good agenda together. We're putting a good event together so that, the world sees India is coming. Trust me, India is coming. We are gearing up for the launch. And this is where we start our journey. We check this and no looking back from here. So that's where we are with regards to the kickoff event. There is no ticket for that. Warm welcome. Please come, send your people. As many as people. They should learn USANA. They should see USANA. They should meet us. We would love to welcome you. Whichever part of India outside you are, if you can come, take a flight, let us know, send us a mail, you're coming. This is the QR code. If you don't have, please scan it. This invitation is going out, is already actually out. You can see that. Please kind of send us the invitation. We've already got good confirmation so far, but I think I still feel that there's a huge number which we can move, and this event can really turn around the USANA's entry into market. And we are super excited about it. All right, next one. Now, it's time to kind of, invite someone who's very special, and he's done a lot of work for USANA, in the global, and he's contributed a lot to the world. So his name is Austin Winegar. He's Director for Health and Science Education Development. That's his title. But more than the title, he's a great person. He's a great man. He has super insight about our products, which perhaps you would learn when you meet him. So if I really speak about his background, so he joined USANA product development team in 2011. And in his time with USANA, Austin has filled few different roles within the product development team. He has organized research for product validation and substantiation. He's involved in product ideations and now clearly focuses on the consumer education or customer education. Unka jo goal hai, wo education hai, wo education ko provide karte hain, and that's his main role to people around the world, to the field force around the world. His main role is for the consumer to understand and master the science behind USANA's top quality product. So what's the science? Wo science kya hai? So that's his role. And he is created, and he now looks after AskTheScientist.com. आपने सुना होगा AskTheScientist.com. ये इनका brainchild है, and he is now responsible for managing any questions which you write on Ask the Scientist around the world, which comes to him. So whenever he's not working, he enjoys mountain biking, skiing, weightlifting. He's quite a fit guy and quite a nice person, and very humble and lovely. We've had a great interactions and really loved, Austin's vision for the world and Austin's knowledge about our products, and his insightful. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I would like to welcome my dear friend, Austin, the director of the Health and Science Education Development, to be on the stage and share his wisdom. Austin, warm welcome to the beautiful
thank you for having me so much.
Thank you.
Sounds like you've got a lot going on there in India. You've got a great event coming up in just a couple of weeks here. So I wish I could be there. Be a lot of fun.
Warm welcome.
So, as you heard briefly in my introduction, I've been with USANA for about 12 years now. And today, what I'm going to do is share with you a little bit about kind of my experience with USANA and what, for me, makes USANA different and a little bit stand out from all the competitors out there and all the other different products that might be available out there, and really show you from a scientific point of view what makes our products so important and so valuable to your life on a daily basis. I assume you can all see my screen there. Yep, looks like it's working. So this is what I like to call the USANA difference, what I'm going to walk through a little bit right here. So I think one of the first most important things that you need to understand is where we started at USANA. So USANA was started from the very beginning, a little over 30 years ago in 1992, by an actual scientist. It was founded by a man named Dr. Myron Wentz. And his background and experience was not in going and creating businesses and trying to sell products, but it was actually in the science. So his specialty was immunology, virology. He actually worked in labs when he was younger. And so here's a few photos of him. And here's an example of his original business that he worked with that actually created virus testing is what they were doing. So they would be able to test people to see if people potentially had any different diseases. So there's an Epstein-Barr test was one of the big ones that he developed to help people have healthier and better lives. Are we going to be doing any translations with this, or should I keep going here?
So, Austin, you can continue.
Okay, we'll continue. We weren't sure there on that.
Yeah.
So after his time at Gold Laboratories, Dr. Wentz founded USANA Health Sciences. So it started out in this smaller building, and today we have this much larger building you see in the background. And one of the things that's interesting about USANA is from the very beginning, they were really focused, just like Dr. Myron Wentz, on the science and the quality of the products. That was always his focus when developing USANA and their products. And so we actually have this within our mission statement, these particular words right here, that basically the mission and goal of the company is to develop and provide the highest quality science-based health products. And so as a member of USANA's product development team, this really is kind of lays the groundwork for everything that we do on a daily basis. And I want to walk you through how we make sure that the products we're creating and developing for you meet these two big standards, that they're both high quality and scientifically based. And I'm going to start with the science and walk you through step by step some of the science that we're putting in to USANA's high quality products. So the very first thing is to actually have science, you have to have the scientists. And so right now we have a little over 150 different research and development support staff. So this includes a large variety of people. These aren't just all people looking under a microscope like Jeremy Tian here, who's a friend of mine and I work with daily. But we have people who are nutritionists, biochemists, molecular and cellular biologists, pharmacists, sports science experts. We have people who are even specialists on reformulating products in particular to make them work with different individual markets that USANA operates with around the world, because we're operating in over 20 different countries around the world. And some of them even have individual legal requirements that force us to alter some of our formulas. So we have people who just specialize in making sure each formula works its very best in each country and with their regulations. In addition to that, we're working with a number of different third-party research groups. You can see some of their logos I've added there at the bottom, whether these are universities or independent research laboratories. We work with a lot of different groups to conduct clinical studies on a regular basis. So why do we do clinical studies? Why do we do clinical research rather than just looking through existing research out there? Because we do a mix of both. Sometimes we're just reading other research that's well established by government entities or by other existing university studies. But we've found it's also important to do our own clinical studies for a number of reasons. Sometimes we're looking at a unique brand new ingredient to the world or to an individual market, and we're wanting to find out how this ingredient performs both in a laboratory setting, but also within the human body. So sometimes we'll actually do studies where we're giving people a particular supplement. So we'll draw their blood when they arrive at our laboratory, we'll give them a supplement, and then we'll test their blood throughout the day. We might be testing for levels of that particular nutrient that we're looking at. We might be testing for metabolites or biomarkers of that nutrient, depending on what our goal is with that nutrient. Some of the other things we're looking at in our clinical studies would be safety data. We're looking at unique combinations of ingredients and how these ingredients, when you combine them in ways people haven't done before, how those function and work together. So those are some of the reasons that we perform clinical studies. I wanted to give you a few brief examples that are some of the exciting ones that particularly will impact some of the products that you're going to be seeing in India. So we'll be launching a product there in India called Proflavanol, and Proflavanol is a combination of grapeseed extract and vitamin C, which is actually what this study was about that we did in 2009, if you look at the date on this. And we did this with Boston University, and we were looking at essentially blood flow and how it's impacted by these couple of ingredients. So we had this measurement device. If you go to my website, askthescientist.com, you can see we have a little image on there. But what we were doing is actually measuring blood flow through people's fingertips, just these microcapillaries, and seeing how those are impacted by this combination of grapeseed extract and vitamin C. So there's an example of one of the studies that we did and a product that we have as a result of some of this clinical information. And USANA has been doing studies since the very beginning. You can find some of our published studies dating before USANA exists, actually tied to Dr. Wentz's Goal Laboratories in the 80s. You can find studies through the 90s, 2000s, and we even have a very recent study that I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about and focusing on. So this is a study that we just published last year. And this study, if you look at the title there, says Counteracting Health Risks by Modulating Homeostatic Signaling. That's kind of a confusing name if you don't know exactly what we were already looking at. But what this study essentially is all about is about cellular signaling. So your cells within your body are constantly signaling each other. There's a signaling molecule, and this signaling molecule, oh, okay, we'll pause for.
Austin, some people are requesting to raise the volume a bit, voice, if it can be a bit louder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's turn this up for everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay, I turned that all the way up on this end. Is that working any better? Or is it the same?
It's the same. Maybe you can be a bit louder. Maybe that it's fine, but few people it's
Nope.
bit low. That's fine.
Give me just 1 second here. It sometimes can be finicky, but let me see. Actually, that's not going to work. Oh, okay. Give me 1 more second and let's test out something different. Is that any better?
Yeah, it's better. Just be a bit loud. It's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with this and hopefully you can hear me. Good enough.
Okay.
So what's happening in the cellular signaling process that this study is looking at is it's looking at the impact of cell signaling molecules and how they impact the body. And you can see it goes through a number of different steps in the cellular signaling process. And the cell signaling is almost a little bit like a chain of dominoes, where if you trigger the first one, all the subsequent steps in the cell signaling process follow over time. And some of these things that happen in your life that you might be familiar with in regards to cellular signaling would be, how our body builds muscle, how we build up like bone stores within the body. You're all familiar with a pregnant woman, how her body undergoes a whole bunch of changes. Well, those changes start with really small individual cell signaling molecules that can result in large changes within our body. And so there's a lot of complicated process here, and there can be a lot of amplification of these different processes within the body. And we've known about these as part of human biology, human nutrition as scientists for decades. But USANA wanted to take a look and maybe do a little bit different approach with this. We're all aware of the different nutrients within our diet, of the fats and carbohydrates, the different building blocks like vitamins and minerals. But what we wanted to look at in our research, this was starting a little bit before I joined USANA, actually. The research and development team started looking closer at some of these potential cell signaling molecules within the food that you eat. We found that there's actually individual molecules within the food that can trigger these cascading cell signaling pathways and in turn create a lot of great health benefits for your body. So that's what we were looking at when we created some of these more recent studies. That study I was pointing out to you was really about cell signaling and how you can trigger these cell signaling processes with food. And the reason I'm talking about this is really impacting a lot of the recent research and a lot of the recent product launches that USANA has done for our different markets around the world. And we call this type of research and these type of products that involve cell signaling, we're calling them intelligence products. And so what is intelligence? To give you a quick definition, intelligence products contain specific nutrients or phytonutrients that trigger these cell signaling processes that give you a benefit for your health. And so I'm excited to talk about a couple of the products that you'll be having there in India in the coming months that incorporate this cell signaling intelligence technology. So the very first one is the Core Essentials. This is one of our core primary products there. I often get asked by people, our different customers at USANA, what product they should take first. And for India, this is really your core product. This contains a broad spectrum of all the essential vitamins. It contains essential minerals, some key antioxidants, and our intelligence cell signaling complex that specifically is built to support antioxidant protection within the body, the renewal process of the mitochondria and cells within your body to really support overall cellular resilience and longevity. So this is a technology that we first launched and we were first really doing a lot of research in about 5 or 6 years ago when we started to launch some of the specific ingredients and combinations of these ingredients around the world. And it's really exciting to be able to finally offer these to you in India. The next one that I'll touch on briefly here that also includes this intelligence cell signaling complex is a product we call Percosa. Percosa is a joint health product, so it contains a combination of glucosamine and curcumin. Curcumin is a specific just compound found within the turmeric root plant, and we're including a special version of that that's particularly absorbable. The problem with turmeric is it's not always very absorbable in the body. So we've known for lots of years it has antioxidant protection. It can help protect your body against any potentially acute problematic inflammation. And so we've created a version of this in combination with glucosamine that's especially absorbable and has a lot of great health benefits for your joints and to help you maintain cartilage and basically the integrity of the joints over time. The research we've looked at for this one in particular has been focused on knee health. There's a little bit of extra research on hips and elbows and shoulders. So that's what this product is primarily designed for. And we're constantly doing more and more research on this. We've got more products that will be launching beyond what I just mentioned, and we'll have more products in the future and in the years to come. And in some of our future meetings that I'll schedule with you, we'll be able to touch on and dig deeper into some of these individual products and the research on the individual ingredients within those products. Today was just kind of a quick introduction to what USANA is. The second part of our mission statement, I'm going backwards through this. It was high quality and science-based. I like to start with the science and then take you to the quality part. But the quality is equally important. Now, when we're doing some of these clinical studies and we're developing these products, what's interesting is we're not developing them always with the same production process in mind, or even with the exact same ingredients in mind. Sometimes when people first develop products, they're using a small pilot test batch of product. We're using specially acquired sets of ingredients. And so we have to learn how to create that same quality and that same environment in a mass manufacturing setting where we can actually create large batches of these for people. We can bottle them. They can be shelf stable for 2 years, which is an important thing because we're not just giving these to people right away. And so without the highest quality products, you can't deliver that same science to people either. And so it's an equally important part of the process. So when we're looking at quality and we're talking about quality at USANA, there's a handful of different things that we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at raw materials. We'll be looking at how those materials combine in their formulas and whether the formulas can be digested and broken down in the body properly. We even have a little fake stomach chamber that we can test our tablets in to test that they break down properly. We're looking at the manufacturing process from beginning to end, and then constantly monitoring that and improving on that process because science is always evolving. Nutrition is actually one of the more recent sciences compared to some of the other things that out there. Nutrition is really in its infancy still, and we're learning a lot about the human body, the genetics of the human body, the microbiome within our body. And so it's great to always be looking at the newest research and improving our products appropriately. As far as some of the specific testing we're looking at, we actually do a lot of chemical testing of our products and biological testing of our products. So we'll test for things like heavy metals. So we'll be looking at lead, arsenic, mercury. And we'll be testing individual raw ingredients and also the finished good that we'd be shipping out to people. In addition to testing for potential contamination, we're also testing to make sure that the products contain the beneficial ingredients at the dosages that we want. So we want to make sure that vitamin C has the vitamin C activity that we're looking for, or vitamin E, or all the different minerals, to make sure really that we're delivering all the beneficial components at the amount that we list on the label, and that we can guarantee those amounts for our shelf life of the product. In addition to that, we'll be looking at biological contaminations. We might be looking for bacterial contamination, fungi, yeast, mold. Some of those are things that actually are particularly important to test for in the plant compounds we include, because they can vary depending on the growing season. A wet versus dry growing season could result in more fungus contamination, for example. So these are important to test on a regular basis as we go through our manufacturing. And all of the India products are being tested for the same quality standards that we test for our products in the United States, where I'm at, or our products that we have in China. We have a lot of the same standards regardless of where you go in the world. In addition to the testing that we do, we actually do a lot of third-party testing. So we'll be working with different organizations to come audit our facilities, make sure that our testing standards are meeting the gold standards for different industries all around the world, whether that's supplement manufacturing or even pharmaceutical manufacturing. We work with a lot of different third-party testers where they'll come in and do these same testing practices that we did, the biological testing, the heavy metal testing, or even the ingredient composition testing. And at USANA, we have a lot of experience with this. We work with 23, 24, I'm losing track now, different countries around the world. Each of them have different testing standards where we have to guarantee that we meet their quality control standards, as well as, like I said, all of these third-party groups that we work with to test all the ingredients as well. And so that's some of the steps and just a small taste of the different quality control process that we go through to make sure that we're providing these high quality products that are also scientifically based. And with that, maybe I'll leave it open for just a couple minutes if people missed anything due to my voice being quiet or had any extra questions about some of the things that I talked about. Feel free to ask questions in the chat and I'll answer a few of those right now if you're curious of anything more about USANA. And to just kind of start, I think I'll maybe answer a few of our most common questions that I frequently get. I know you don't have product available there yet, but one of the first questions I receive, which I already mentioned earlier, is basically what product should I take first? So that first one there I'd recommend for you would be the Core Essentials. It has vitamins and minerals. And the reason I recommend that one is because really none of us eat a perfect diet. Even at our very best, we've actually had people in the R&D team, some of our nutritionists, test out their version of a perfect diet. And we'll go through and we'll actually measure the ingredients of all the products and add them all up. And we'll find out that even then people are deficient in certain vitamins or certain minerals. And so that's why I recommend that as the first one, is just to make sure that you are receiving enough vitamins and minerals to meet the essential needs on a daily basis. And then depending on that, you can go through and take whatever you find important for you, whether that's cardiovascular health product or a joint health product. So we just received a couple of questions here. So what third-party testing will USANA be getting in India? So right now, it's interesting. So USANA is working with a few different manufacturers that we haven't worked with before for our India testing. So we're going a little bit overboard on our testing because we're working with a few different new manufacturers. And this is pretty standard practice for us. When we hire a new manufacturer, we'll go in, we'll inspect the facility, we'll talk to the people who are actually running the facility themselves before we make an agreement to manufacture a product. Once we come to an agreement to manufacture, we'll actually do a test batch run. And we've had USANA staff there on site for the test batch runs. We'll have them there for all the actual manufacturing product runs. And these are individuals who sit right down the hall from me. They've got offices right next to mine, who have decades of experience in quality control and laboratory testing. So we actually have our staff on site there for the manufacturing. We have that same staff there for some of the testing. We've been doing testing with every one of the raw ingredients. We've been doing testing with all the manufactured goods. I don't know off the top of my head, and I can actually look this up. If you want to email your staff there, they can send a question to me and I can get you the final answers. I don't know who we're using by name for our third-party testing within India, but I can get you that information. We have a few individuals that specialize.
I can answer that. It's SGS Labs. They are the #1 most reputed in Asia. Everybody knows SGS. All companies, third-party manufacturers, they go to SGS. They are the biggest, I should say, in the world of testing. At least that's what are our third-party, the product certification company we work with there. So, but you can still check.
We use
more. But I know for sure SGS, so there are more. So
yeah, and I know there were a couple on the list. I wasn't I know that's one of them, and there were a few others. I know we regularly work with NSF, USP, we worked with Informed Choice. There's quite a few that we work with depending on the product and the individual ingredient, and I can get you that specific information if you're curious on which product and which ingredient.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got quite a few here. We'll get through as many of these as we can. So when USANA represents itself as a cellular nutrition company, how does the product reaching the human cells get justified as the digestive system of humans may differ? So that's a great question. And that is true. So everybody's a little bit different, depending on even what our nutritional needs are will impact how we break down and how we absorb different nutrients. And what we're actually looking at when we do these is we'll do some of these studies and we do look at people on the individual level. We'll look at overall nutritional dependencies of groups as a whole. There are a few outliers. And for example, one of the outliers might be people who have disease type state, people who are taking medications or are under specific therapeutic treatments by doctors. And so those would be an exception where maybe they shouldn't take our products because there are some safety concerns. But when you look at the overall majority of healthy individuals, most of them are pretty similar in how they break down and digest the different nutrients. And so we're offering kind of an amount that hits the broadest spectrum, the amount that will impact 95% of the population with these benefits. That's another one where if you're really wanting to know some of the individual details and how a person with this genetic mutation might absorb this individual ingredient, that we do have data and research on that. I can provide you with some of those details if you want to individually reach out to me. Probably hard to touch in an event like this. They really, where you're looking at actual clinical study information to touch that more closely. Another great question, just kind of jumping through here. So the next one I'm going to touch on is the product natural or synthetic? And so we actually receive this question quite a bit, and we use, to answer that, a combination of both natural and synthetic ingredients. We're using whatever is most appropriate for the ingredient and the product. A lot of people, I think, have a little bit of a misconception that natural is always better. And in some cases, there are certain ingredients where the natural is less pure and as a result, less safe and less effective than a synthetic version. And so we'll use a combination of ingredients, just whatever is going to be very best for the human body. And so in the case of, I mentioned our joint health products, so the curcumin is obviously a natural ingredient, but the glucosamine is a combination of a little bit of you can get some natural versions of it or some that are synthetic. The natural versions tend to be ones that can cause shellfish allergies in some individuals, for example, and they might be potentially a little bit less pure versus some of the synthesized versions. People don't have any allergic issues with it, and they're shown to be absorbed potentially a little bit better. And so in our case, we picked, really with every one of our ingredients, we picked the one that we see as most beneficial to people, regardless of natural or synthetic. And with that, I think we'll wrap this up. I just want to thank you all so much for being here today. We're going to go ahead in the future and have a few more of these meetings and touch on some of the individual products and how they might benefit the individual body systems within your body. And some of these more detailed questions, like I touched on, if you're looking at more research-oriented or detailed things, feel free to reach out to me individually and I can get you that information as you need. With
Thank you,
I want to thank you all.
Yeah, you're amazing, and thank you. Sorry, I just kind of cut you short. I just realized. Please go ahead. My apologies.
Nope, I didn't have anything more to say. I was just waiting for you to jump in.
Okay, so I'm right here. So thank you very much, Austin. It's been a great session. I think you've kind of covered the basics here of USANA and how much we all focus on cell nutrition. One of the questions which I saw here is how many sites of manufacturing the products are planned to cater in India. Yes, we do have 3 sites right now with whom we are working. So there are 3 different manufacturers with whom we have spread out the product manufacturing, fully supported by the global team, the home office team. They're constantly visiting in India, doing a lot of testing, like what we were discussing about the various, high level of testing we have. And that's why, I think it's not that we just launched tomorrow morning. There's been a lot of process. There's a lot of stability testing that's happening. I know batches got rejected because they were not of our standards. So, and now they're ready, after a lot of samples going to the US, getting it back from India, changes. So I think there's a lot of hard work that has gone. And like I said, and what Austin said, this is our DNA to give the products. They are the best in the world. We will never compromise on USANA's USANA standards. So that's what we are. And that's what, like Austin spoke about, the science behind USANA's great quality product. So thank you, Austin, for joining us today, sharing the insight. And we will invite you more so that, you are like sharing the insight, sharing about our beautiful USANA's quality, USANA's science with the Indian field. So thank you once again for being a part of our family today. Thank you.
Yep, happy to be here.
Thanks a lot. All right, so maybe should we shift to the next slides? All right, so that was Austin. Once again, thanks Austin for giving us a great insight. बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत basics, बहुत science. To be honest, there's a huge science available, with USANA. And anytime you have any question, just write to Ask the Scientist and the team will answer. Austin personally looks into it. He keeps checking, he keeps answering, whether it is staff, whether it is the distributors, our associates, everybody writes there. Feel free to write anything you want to know about our science, our ingredients, our intelligence technology, anything you need. We are a very transparent company and we'll be more than happy to share anything and everything you like. So once again, thank you, Austin. And now get social with India. And I know for sure, all of you, आप सब लोग जो हैं वो USANA India की Facebook page और USANA India के Insta page पे kind of हैं. अगर नहीं हैं तो please अपने आप को यहाँ पे kind of इसको follow करें, as there's a lot of information that's being pushed out. Now, I just want to share with you our strategy for the future, how the social media will be changing. Just want to share with you that. So ये जो pages हैं आप यहाँ पे देखते हैं जिनको आप follow करते हैं, ये consumer facing pages हैं. मतलब we're going to speak about the science, we're going to talk about the technology, we're going to talk about how India is kind of gearing up for the launch. And as we move forward post-launch, we'll be putting a lot of information about the basics of USANA, meaning the product, the science. But technically, we'll never speak about the opportunity, the various compensation plan we have, और बहुत सारी चीजें जो opportunity से related हैं, compensation plan से, rank advancement से, titles हैं, recognitions हैं, that will not be here, but that's going to be on another page. So I would highly recommend you, the next slide, to kind of, be a part of this community. All the people here, almost 70, 75 people logged in today. I would highly recommend that you please start to scan this page and be a part of the new community, the distributors or the family community, wherein we speak about, like we are pushing out Austin Winger's communication today. ताकि आपके पास जो भी कंपनी की इंफॉर्मेशन है, कोई भी हमारा प्लान है, कोई भी हमारा चेंज है, हमारे इवेंट्स हैं, नेक्स्ट वीक की हमारी जो कॉल है उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन, कौन सा हमारा नया गेस्ट आ रहा है, who's going to speak about it, what are we presenting, so highlights of, let's say the event is coming. Event of course will also be pushed out less on the consumer page but more on this page. Of course we'll put the events video on the consumer page telling people this is what we did. बट बहुत सारा जो वो है आपका इंफॉर्मेशन है वो इस पेज के ऊपर होगा. तो कुछ लोग यहाँ लिख रहे हैं, some people are saying link. I would highly recommend just scan this page. It is basically called as USANA India Start Something. So somebody can type it here please for us. USANA India Start Something. Okay. So this is a little bit bigger tagline, but that's all right. USANA India Start Something. Please go to the USANA India Start Something Facebook page and usko follow kare. Please follow that. Please like it. And you're going to have a lot of information about our next, next calls. Whatever information which is for the field, for the sales force, that's going to be in future, going to be on this page. And I repeat, the USANA India's consumer page and USANA India's distributors page or associates page, that's going to be totally different. The consumer page is going to speak about science, technology, USANA's heritage, 30 years of history. And consumers, what consumers want to know about USANA, वो consumer क्या जानना चाहते हैं, USANA के बारे में, that is what is going to be on that page. However, on this side, it's more focused towards you. It's more focused towards the people who are really excited about building the opportunity, recognition, and so on and so forth. That's going to be on this page. So please follow that page and make sure that you are kind of following that and learning out of this page. All right, आगे चलते हैं. I hope you all have scanned it. Please scan it, please make a note of it, and just follow that. So we are USANA India. We are ready to kind of serve you. We are always there to help you. That's our office. It's still, the fit outs are about to start soon. And another, I think we are hopeful 1 month, 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to have a our office ready to kind of bring it to you live. It's called as USANA Studio, and it's going to be very beautiful. We are working on the finalization of design and blah, blah, blah. And that's right on the way. So please warm welcome to these events. Please ensure that आप अगली बारी में अपने साथ कुछ और guests को लेके आ रहे हैं. अगर आपको ये session अच्छा लगा, तो please start to like our pages. Please start to follow our social media handles. I think in couple of weeks from now, we'll also switch on our website for you to start to see various things. You can ask any questions related to the askthescientist.com. Right, that's Austin is always available to answer. They're very quick in answering our technical questions. So please feel free, write to us, write to the team, always there to kind of answer you, help you, support you with one mission. We will take USANA India to the best ever heights. And the world is watching us. And 8th September, bilkul mat bhulna, something very important. पहला इवेंट होगा, बहुत अच्छा होगा, बहुत सारे लोग आ रहे हैं. We are very excited about it. So join the excitement, join the fun, and see you on 8th of September, 5 p.m. High Regency, Chandigarh. Thank you very much. And 5th September for the call, same call, next Tuesday.